Good afternoon, March 7th, 2018, 12 o'clock p.m. Just going to run through a quick midday. If you have any charts you want me to look at, put the tickers in the room if you could. I'm going to review the trading plan real quick. So oil hit its target yesterday, and today it just missed it, and then it came off again. Maybe what I'll do is take us into, just want to look at this real quick. Looking at the oil algorithm here, algorithm model. Just got to bring it up here, sorry folks. Okay, so let's get it open. I'm just going to sign into the oil room here quick. We'll take a look. So bottom line is the target hit perfect yesterday. Today it got up into very near at the target. So let's just bring it down. So it got very near into the target, bottom side of the target. We put out a buy trigger down here at the bottom of the quad. We put out a sell trigger up in here. And so that was an excellent trade for our members. Now it's time to cover those shorts. So I apologize, but I have to alert this really quick for our members. It's the short side. I mean, there's could still be some there, but so this has turned into an excellent buy trigger and an excellent short trigger. Time to cover short side on model, or at least trim 6106. So those were some excellent trades on oil for sure. Just barely missed the target this morning and then tanked. Now it might tank into the lower target. There's two targets for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, the bearish. So it's just over top of the bearish one. So basically it got just under the bullish one, just over the bearish one. So fantastic range. And yesterday I had put on my Twitter feed that the range I expected was to be extreme. So last night I put out some tweets, some guidance on this. Actually, we should look at a few of those charts too. Where did I put that? Oh, anyway, I don't know where it is, but it was out there. By the way, this S&P video, if you haven't seen it yet, the way that we use the S&P model is going to help your MOMO trades. How to use APTO oil algo. Oh, here it is. So I was expecting a big range, and we got it today. Okay, so we'll go through our charts. Okay, so some of the movers on the day. I want to take a look at MOMO first. Get your buy sell triggers here. S&P's coming off a bit on the day, right near us buy trigger here. So the buy side on the S&P and the buy side on oil are going to kick in again here right away. Let's take a look at your 5-minute. So it was right up into resistance. I'm thinking a buy side in the 33.30 area if we can get that for a potential 37.51 into early next week, even possibly 39. So that's your buy sell, simple buy sell trigger on MOMO. LTBR, I'm watching really close. I don't think this is going to transpire until next week. It's one of my main swing watches right now. So on the day, trading just off a little bit, but here's the secret to this chart. This target right here at $1.66 on March 26th is the least bullish. More probable is 236, and then your next one up is 306, and then your next up is 372. I'm expecting at least 237, if not 308, March 26th. So next week, I'm expecting a pop here, probably by Tuesday over 166, and then into at least the first or second target above it. A bearish side target, it's basically back to zero or near zero, 90 cents, where it took off last time. So that is possible, but I think we're going to the upside, and I'm hoping to see 307. If we see 377, that would be fantastic, but I'm going to hammer down on that one quite heavily. And it's time. So here was the pre-market. Let's take a look at some of the tickers off of there. So LTBR, ANF, MOMO, APTO, BA, NFLX, AOBC, and KO. Apple. I want to take a look at this real quick. So I'm waiting for Apple to prove out over or under a significant pivot on the daily chart. It's under right now. It's trading 174.58. Its pivot is sitting at 176.70. So under 176.70 is bearish. If it loses the MAs, the 50 MA, 20, and the 100 that are all in one nice little zone at this fib, horizontal fib at 170.93, if it loses that, it's a significant short, but we'll see. Last time, well, there's your tank, right? But anyway, your pivot, your important mark is 176.70. So we're gonna watch for that into next week. Netflix. So Netflix, we had a decent alert last week on a trade, and we'll see how it's proving out here. S&P's holding the buy zone right now, and oil's holding the buy zone. Okay, so we're trading 316.94 off 2.5% today-ish. So we're trading up in here. We've got a target up in the 338 range, but resistance points that we pointed out on the long side alert were 313.92 and 315.50. So we're just up and over that right now. It did peak out near the next resistance point at 328.17. I wouldn't doubt, you'll see closer to that 338-ish sooner than later. And then this is its structure right here that it should trade in. ANF. So this is interesting from the retail side. I can't imagine retail turning too hard, but the ETF might be a decent upside trade. We'll see. So right now we're trading 23.63 intraday, up just over 10%, and up over an important resistance at 23.50-ish. So we'll see if the structure holds. Here again into next week, this may be a decent long, but I can't absolutely confirm it. It needs structure over top of that resistance or support now it is. MOMO we looked at. And then we have BA, APTO, LTBR. You know what, I'm not going to go through those. Well, actually, let's look at BA here quick. I said I would, so let's take a look at them quick. So BA, I've done swing trades with a number of times. I think this has always been a winner for me. Just up over its 50 MA. Stock RSI is about to turn, but your MACD's down. So it's indecisive at this point. I would wait to see if you get a pop off one of these MAs, but I think you're going to visit the 100 MA actually. I think that's what you're going to see. So I think you're going to see that 308. Well, by the time it gets there, you know, it might be 310 to 315. But I'd be pretty cautious here. I don't think the structure's in play yet. But you could bring the timing down, and you know, if you get bullish on the hourly, up over the 200, all the MAs, with your indicators lining up, you might want to try along, but it's pretty pensive. We also have APTO. I'll run these real quick. I said I would, so I'll do them. So this was our short alert this morning. Okay, APTO on the 30-minute. So when the short alert came out, it was trading in the 375 area, I think. Well, it opened, it tanked right off open, didn't it? No, it wasn't in the 375 area. Well, it was up in here, I think 340-ish. But anyway, a decent short. Structurally on the daily, I think you're going to see more pressure in here, but that MACD is turned up. But you could watch it on the hourly going into next week. So what I'm going to do is alarm that MACD. If the MACD turns up on the hourly, it might be a watch for an upside, and then same thing on the downside. You would just alarm your MACD on the hourly for a possible buy or sell trigger either way. AO, B, C, and KO. What? KO. We'll get to the other one here soon. Oh, I see. AOBC. Okay, look at the daily structure here. So over its 20, under its 50, MACD turned up. Good chart. Now it's tried to bottom before, so use caution as it works its way through the MAs, but before it worked through the MAs, beautiful. There's just one day that was divergent. Nice structure. So last time it zipped through the 20 and then sat on the 50. So that's probably what you're going to see here. You're probably going to see a replay of the past. And we'll see if that plays out. So I'm just going to alarm myself here. Add alert crossing the 50. Let's see if we get a trade. And KO. S&P, by the way, is sitting right on a buy trigger. Oil's come off a little bit more and right into that second target on the day. Okay, so KO trading 43.59 on the day, off just shy of 1%. Let's look at the daily. So it's definitely a bottom structure. This is what they look like. MACD's turned up too. So it's sitting in the basket of previous support. You might get a turn here. I'm going to alarm this one just upside because I think this has a high probability of turn. See if we get a trade into next week. Can we look at some of the movers on the day? OGEN. So this is your daily. Constantly under pressure. Constantly gets a pop over its 200 and deflates. I don't know. Nothing great there. I mean, if you get up over the 200, it stays up there and it builds some structure. Sure, MACD is up. but not a high probability trade either way. MED. So what you want to do with this one is you want to wait for it to come off and into its MAs and then bounce, because there's no way you can predictably get a long side trade on this, even with the news. Super bullish chart, but I mean, you can buy and close your eyes and hope for the best and set a stop, but I don't know. ZSAN, one of the favorite of the day traders that like its range when it gets going, or dumps, one of the two. Caution, caution. On the hourly, it looks great. On the 4 hour, it looks fine. But you see how it's popping over on the 4 hour? If you're going to trade this one long, I would just follow that flow that you see here. And that's probably what you're going to see. I don't think that's a great setup at all. PIXY, and here's another example of a crappy setup. But the thing is, we've been watching these structures play out over and over the last couple months, and they can get really bullish. So, you know, when they come out of their bowl, you know, their previous highs, they can take right off. RGNX. Let's take a look at the daily on this one. So this is an example, right? So this is one that dumped. It got up, and it came out of its bowl. So you see where, here's how you do it. You just horizontal line it at this bottom. There's your big pivot, right? Your previous high came out of the bowl, rocked sideways, boom, again out of the bowl. This is the second bowl here. And built its structure again. And now, could it happen again? I'm sure it could happen again. It's over its highs right here. So how would you actually trade that? You just do your fib marks on it. So this could go. It builds structure over 32.10. It could easily go. You're going to end up with a time cycle. I'm not going to build you the model right now. I'm just going to show you where it would be. Your time cycle expiry on the daily, which is the most important, is October 30th of this year, which would put it, I'll show you what your extension would look like without building a whole model. So you just take this, clone it, put it up here. And if it builds structure over 32, going into late year, October 25th, your first target would be 47.30. So without showing you the whole model, I'll just put an arrow there. That's RGNX. That would be your target for late year. So it stays up over 32, and you've got a serious trade there on a swing, right? So I'm gonna just alarm this one over 35.25. I'm gonna watch this one super close. Arm it on the downside at 32.40-ish. It's a super, super powerful structure. So that's RGNX. HTGM, I've traded this many times. Great day trading vehicle, but well, same thing, right? So it's testing the bowl right now. So you see this low here, and it's testing it. Whoops, let's go with the right horizontal line. So you're gonna be right in there. So anything over 548 with some structure would be a fantastic trade. So these are actually setting up. Just gonna alarm it quick. There's some pretty interesting charts here today. HCI. Let's just do this quicker here. 4 hour extremely bullish. Let's look at the daily. Over your 200. Wow, it popped perfect off that 200. MACD's up. And these are some aggressive charts. So now it's into its resistance cluster. So it's the previous bottoms in here you want to watch for, the opposite of the basket on the other side. So what you do is you just take your horizontal line here, you go right in around there. Anything up over $43.90, call it $40. I mean 44, sorry. So that's what I'll watch for on the upside. It's got the potential. That's HCI. AOBC we looked at, APTO we looked at, LTBR we looked at, WBAI. I don't think this chart's a good chart, but let's take a look. Same thing, look at that. So you've got a whole bunch of them testing their primary pivot on the daily, and the daily is a very important chart. Exactly where this one is hard to tell. I mean, it's see, I've already got this alarmed, so I've looked at this. Anyway, the watch starts around 1819, and it goes to it's up over at call it 2220. So I'm gonna, that one's a little bit difficult where that pivot's gonna be, but 2220 is a serious look. HCI, is it ADSK? So we actually, well, look at that, it's building structure. So you could watch this into next week, but I have a suspicion that one's going to go. I'm not going to chart it out right now. I might do it over the weekend. We're going to do some follow-ups anyway. RADA is getting close to its 50 on the daily. Be very, very cautious. I can almost guarantee you you're going to see a downside, at least a retracement to half the move. So your support then would be 228. So if you're long, you want to start trimming as it gets close to that 50 MA, and then your support on the retracement is going to be, well, around 225. And then you'll probably get a bounce. YRIB, just no structure. RELV, it's okay structure, bottom structure not the best. Watch your 200 on the daily. VSI, terrible structure. ANF, KFY, there's not a lot I can do there. CALA, okay, this one I like. I was looking at this last night. So here's the same structure, right? So you're seeing this theme in the market right now. Here's your pivot. So it's right in around, what is that, 1035. I'd bet you 10 to 1 that you're going to see upside here. So let's just take this real quick. Once it gets up over 1035, this is a really, really strong buy. A little tough to get the structure on it, but I've charted it before, so I'll do it again here over the weekend for next week. It's right at resistance right now. 1035 early next week. I bet you you're going to see by Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to test that 1035. And your target's going to be 2005, June 28th. Your mid target, so that's the most bullish target, by the way. Your mid target will be here. Your mid target's going to be 1555 on the same date. So that's what my target will be on the buy. So my buy will be in around 1040, and my upside target first one will be in that 1555 range. If it loses its resistance, you just take this, move it down, and your first downside target on the same date to the downside is going to be 455. So if it tanks. Okay, that's it for midday, unless you have some charts that you want me to take a look at. I'll just give you half a minute. Is there anybody in there speaking or saying they want a chart looked at? Because I can't see it. Is there anybody in there at all?
They're so up. That's a big conversation, actually.
Okay, hold on 2 seconds. Okay, so that's midday for March 7th, 2018. Thanks for coming out. We're going to be running these quite regularly on YouTube Live, and appreciate the support.
That was good.
Yeah.
So there were 5 viewers.
Yeah.
One fell off because you were talking about the algo model.
Okay.
But they stuck with you up until you started going down that list of hot stocks on TradingView.
Interesting.
So they want you to stay on top of the churn.
That is the churn. They're the hottest.
But the churn, the super churn, is the ones that StockTwits, Benzinga, CNBC are stocking.
So we just gotta figure out what are the hottest churn and just do them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So how do we actually target that churn? Off of StockTwits?
Syndication. So whatever they followed in the morning and whatever shows up on the heat map. So let's say in the morning pre-market we had.
Yeah, I just need to know, like, specifically before I do the webinar.
Right.
What list do I go with? Oh, I didn't stop the